Can you talk a little bit about that day to me?
The day of the market.
Yeah.
Well, once we were pushed and everything, and I was pushed away from my mother and brother and the sisters. I remained among strange people, a young little boy, and knowing what is going to happen, what happened. And then they put us on the side, and they made us to undress completely naked. Completely naked. Some of them, the women tried to hold themselves, not to expel like this. And they put us in groups, and they started to march us. And I say, where are they marching us? And then I noticed that they're marching us to the park of the Radziwill dynasty. So, and a lot of young people wanted to run away. So they shoot it in the air and warning, if you run, we're going to kill you. So people were afraid to escape. And then they brought us 100 meters from the grave, the main grave. And there we were naked and everything. We were surrounded by the collaborators with the Germans, And they took 100 people at a group and they marched us to the grave. And then I noticed that histories that what they think, the Germans grab, and the collaborators, small children from the parents and shoot them, and with their feet, with the boots, push them in the grave. And as the parents want to run after the child, they were killed too. They're the first thing what I've seen it, what they've done it. And then after this, they take each group from where we were standing in the back and marching to the grave. And then coming to the grave, and already we've seen what's going on. They were killing and shooting and throwing grenades. And I was standing in the back of the grave and in front of the Germans and the collaborators. And the German, I looked at them and he started to me, jump. And I was frozen. So he took with the gun over the head in me, and I fell in the grave. I fell in the grave, and then dead people on top of me. But what happened, I was close to be able to free myself. So I wanted to breathe myself. I couldn't breathe. So I threw out dead bodies and parts to get some air on me. And once I get there, and I see all around me, I see dead people, and some of them have dead people, and crying and everything. So I got out. I was completely naked, full of blood, and I was walking to the edge of the grave. I couldn't see what's doing outside, upstairs, so I threw dead bodies on top on each other, like a stepladder. And I looked around with my head, and I see nobody there. It's quiet. So I jumped out of the grave, and then I said, Michael, where are you going? So I said, I want to go to one of the farmers who dealt with my parents. And as I got out and I was naked, and that was actually between the forest and fields, and it was getting already darkish too. And I ran, and I said to myself, my mother was beside me, Michael, run faster, get away, don't look backwards, forget it, just run. And I came to the outside of the village, Rudavka. And then that was the guy who dealt with my father and everything in the forestry. And in the village, I knew the village very well, so I came from the fields.
And how did you, I know I keep asking this, but I think people will be thinking the same question. How did you feel when this happened, on this day?
Well, I felt like the first thing what it is my mother. Try to survive and tell the thing what happened to you. And I followed her, and that's the only way. I said, at least I was the only one to survive to tell the world after, when peace will be there, the normal life, that I'll tell my story to people and to young people to know, especially to young people to know what a 10-year-old kid has done it to survive and make a life for himself.
It's amazing. It sounds like, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, but it sounds like your mother's words almost immediately became your way of surviving.
Yes, because she was the one. Because when she took me and she kissed me, she says, Michael, from all the kids, you'll make it. And you should tell the world what happened to us. So please do it.
Yeah.
And that's why I followed my mother all the time.
It gave you strength.
Yes, it did me strength all the way. And she followed me all the side by side, even she wasn't there.